My name is Kat Gueli, and I'm the writer and the director of the Tributaries film.
I'm Catherine Daddario, and I'm an actor in The Tributaries.
Mhm. First of all, congratulations on this. Such a fascinating watch, such a very high quality indie film. Why was this a story you wanted to tell, Kat?
Well, in 2014, I had lost a really close friend of mine. He had took his own life, and I was in film school, and I was sort of going through this grief and emotional fog with dealing with this loss, and I just didn't have a way of sort of expressing what I was going through at the time, and so I wrote everything down, and that's where the screenplay was born, and I knew this is a story that I wanted to tell because I would hope that people would feel seen and heard and held from this story. It was a story that I really needed at the time.
Mhm. Awesome. Catherine, your character is so complex. She's a caregiver, she's protective. There's so many aspects to her that just shine through your performance. How do you capture a character like this?
Well, most of it's because of Kat's writing and directing. She's shaking her head, yes. Um, but I think it's just very much living in the moment to moment and certain things I had been through. So I had my own experiences to draw on. And then, you think about all the different ways that you can react to certain things as a human being. But genuinely, like the caregiving stuff and just the weight of that storyline on the whole family, Kat discussed with all the actors because she had been through it
Mhm.
and gave us much more tangible things to attach to for our performances. So I'm glad that it read to you, Jesus.
Definitely did. There's a vulnerability to your character that I guess Kat you can also speak on. She's very powerful. She's helping this friend through a very difficult situation, but at the same time she's going through a lot as well. Um, these multiple layers to this character. How do you begin to write that on paper, and how do you begin to bring that out of somebody?
Well, thank you so much for saying that. I was going through, like I said before, the grief of losing my friend, and I had multiple drafts over 10 years of while I was in the grief, sort of when I was coming out the other side, and I had that perspective, and then meeting Kat and hearing about what she had gone through, and sort of it was such a collaboration, this part, and we really talked about the power of vulnerability and the
Hmm.
strength of vulnerability, and we just had so much rehearsal and time and conversation, and um, I mean, Catherine is such a vulnerable person that it was really easy for me to write a draft that was really based on her. Um, yeah. Catherine, what do you?
That's just so funny because
Yeah.
um, I do so relate to Robbie,
Hmm.
but it's funny. You keep saying how like you changed it to be more like me, and I'm like, geez, I'm like a tough cookie, pretty rough. But I like Robbie's so beautiful to me. It was such like an honor to get to bring her to life and her experiences. I think that's sort of what we all do in especially in bad times. It's sort of a blessing to have someone else to go through it with us. And we try to take care of everyone that we can, even if it's too much. That's very relatable, just on a person to person level.
Yeah, I remember when we were doing a few scenes too, Catherine was like, "Oh gosh, how am I supposed to put myself in this situation with this person where I could get hurt emotionally and physically?" Because we've all been in this situation where Robbie's been through, but she almost doesn't know better because she's just so feeling and she's grieving and she's trying to do right by someone she loves and everyone that she loves. And so it was really wonderful to kind of get back into the headspace of someone who doesn't know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
Because we all know this story and we all lived it. And so Catherine and I had sort of have had a lot of conversation about being in that vulnerability and allowing Robbie to kind of just be in the moment by moment, not really knowing what was going to happen and being okay with that.
Yeah, being a college student, and especially with Sky, who plays Drew, it was easy to find all of that stuff because
Mhm.
he's also really
Yeah.
giving.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. Catherine, maybe you could speak a little bit about the kind of set that Kat was able to create in order to allow you to be as vulnerable. Her collaboration style that made it safe for you to go to some of these very difficult places as an actor.
This is my favorite topic because she made such a beautiful set where everyone felt super, super comfortable and the crew was getting things from the story and was involved in the story as much as the actors were, which is like unreal. And, I knew everyone on the crew well because we were having lunch together and I knew her family who was on set with us. And she is a director, is very much an actor's director, and she really gives you notes on character and really makes herself super vulnerable, and you sort of match that. And there's a couple of scenes that I felt like I spoke out of turn with and would be like, please don't make me do another, or like, or would be like, I'm starting to like get really stuck in a level of upset. And
Mhm.
I asked, like, can I change sort of something that I think will help, at least my thing, but also with the actual movie, like just being able to change things on the fly and be open to all of that and
Mhm.
understand what we as actors were going through, experiencing all of this emotion all day,
Mhm.
every day. She was just so, so generous with it.
Mhm. And Kat, with so many really intense topics, what kind of obstacles did you come across when trying to produce this?
Um, well, when I first started writing the film in 2014, I had a lot of people tell me, well, no one wants to watch a film about mental illness, which, today, thank God, there's actually a conversation that's
Mhm.
happening. So we sort of made the film at, I think, a perfect time. Um, uh, Somehow through a dear friend of mine, Mario, he sent the project to Michael Corrente, who came on as producer and supported the film and believed in us and sort of championed the film and guided us. And so he was really the first person that said, no, 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 this film needs to be made and the story needs to be told and people be affected by it. And then just people came onto the set. Catherine was the first person that we brought onto the project who really believed in it. And everyone, it's really kind of a blessing because crew to across the board to the actors, whether they either experienced, some type of anxiety or depression, understand what these characters are going through, or
Mhm.
they had lost someone, unfortunately, to suicide. So it was sort of this really precious, um, vulnerable set, but understanding and empathetic set that we had, and a wonderful group of people that sort of carried carried the whole thing.
Mhm. Now, with so much hard work put into this, how does it feel being able to bring this to Dantsuba Films and having it shown at the TCL Chinese Theater, which is such an iconic theater?
It's honestly, it's such a dream. I'm still sort of in shock that
Mhm.
that it's going to premiere there, and I'm just so excited to be able to hopefully have a conversation with people and to be with Catherine and all the actors again. It was such a wonderful experience making the film, so I'm really excited to share in this with you and with everyone.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and I'm excited to have a conversation with the people that we made it for.
Anything to add, Catherine?
The theater is so exciting to me. The festival so far is so, I wasn't aware of the festival. I'm an East Coast girl, originally, so I wasn't aware of it. And it's so good.
Mhm.
Dances with Films is so professional. I was like, I'm blown away by them. But to go to the Chinese theater, I mean, a movie that I'm a really big fan of that just premiered there. I was like in Europe just a few weeks ago and seeing people at this premiere, and I was like, I'm about to be there at this theater. I was so excited. It's like very, very surreal to have a movie at the Chinese. It's so big.
As you sit there with the audience, what kind of reactions are you expecting to see from people that will be attending?
You know, I've been fortunate enough to see it with some other audiences, and do you have this reaction where it's like this entire audience after the film is done, it's like everyone's gone through this journey together, and everyone's sort of affected and is standing still with each other, and being supported by each other. So it's this really wonderful experience. So I'm really looking forward to that. Um, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to speaking with everyone. And I'm excited for everyone to see you in this, Catherine. I'm so excited.
I so far we've done some small screenings and I've loved how people have responded to it. Our producer mentioned how incredibly still the audiences get because of some of the intensity of some of the scenes. And that's a really wild experience. I think being in that audience when everyone is sort of holding their breath. I, of course, hate watching myself, but I love watching other people watch it and like this. But it's like, I think it's really beautiful after the fact to have people be so moved. It's really incredible,
Yeah.
you know?
Awesome. Well, congratulations to both of you. It's weird to say, but this is such a beautiful film, such a wonderful uh message that it brings out. And I do hope there's conversation more of a conversation about this. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Jesus.